Eli Vaylor was tired. His shift at the maintenance deck of Outpost Helios had stretched 3 hours longer than it should have. He had been fixing broken plasma lines, crawling through tight tunnels, and listening to the buzzing noise of old machines that never seemed to rest. His hands were covered with grease and his uniform smelled like burnt metal. Life at the outpost was not glamorous. It was lonely, gray, and filled with routine. The outpost orbited a barren moon far from the central trade routes. Ships rarely docked there, and when they did, they only stayed long enough to refuel. Most days Eli felt like nothing more than a forgotten worker on the edge of the galaxy. He sighed as he entered the long, silent corridor that led to his quarters. The dim lights flickered as they always did, and the air smelled faintly of ozone. He muttered to himself, "Another day, another broken vent. Maybe tomorrow will be different." Probably not. He reached his door, pressed his ID chip against the lock, and waited for the door to slide open with its usual hiss. All Eli wanted was to collapse on his bed and sleep for 12 hours straight. But when the door opened, he froze. Someone was already inside. She was sitting on his bed. Eli blinked, thinking maybe he was imagining things. But no. There she was, calm as if she belonged there. She wasn't human. Her skin had a faint shimmer like moonlight on water. Her eyes were large and bright, glowing softly in the dim light. Her clothing looked like something out of a storybook, long, flowing fabric with silver patterns that caught the light. And most unsettling of all, she was smiling at him. Eli stood in the doorway, too stunned to speak. His first thought was, how did she get past the security locks? His second thought was, why is she sitting on my bed? The woman tilted her head slightly, her smile never fading. "You are late," she said in a voice that was calm and musical, carrying an accent Eli had never heard before. Eli finally found his voice. Who are you? How did you get in here?" She did not answer his question. Instead, she folded her hands neatly in her lap and replied, "You are the one I was searching for." Eli stepped into the room cautiously, the door sliding shut behind him. His instincts told him to call security, but something about her presence stopped him. She didn't look threatening, but she also didn't look ordinary. "You can't just break into a soldier's quarters," Eli said, trying to sound firm. "This is restricted space. I should report you." Her smile widened slightly. "If you wish, but you will not." Eli frowned. "And why's that?" "Because," she said softly, "you already know that I am not here to harm you. I came because you are the one who can help me." Eli rubbed the back of his neck, feeling the tension build. He had dealt with smugglers, drifters, even spies trying to sneak onto the outpost before, but never anything like this. This woman didn't fit any category he knew. "Help you?" he repeated. "Lady, I'm just an engineer. I fix pipes and patch wires. Whatever you're looking for, you've got the wrong guy." Her expression did not change. "No. I chose correctly." Eli stared at her. "Chose? You chose me?" She nodded once. "Yes." For a long moment, silence filled the room. The hum of the outpost's systems could be heard faintly through the walls, steady and constant. Finally, Eli shook his head. "Look, I don't know what game you're playing, but you can't stay here. My supervisor will kill me if he finds a stranger in my quarters. So," he gestured toward the door, "out, now." But she didn't move. She simply stayed on. The bed, her smile calm and unshaken as if she had all the time in the galaxy. "No," she said softly, "I will not leave." Eli's frustration grew. He had expected her to argue or even resist, but not this calm, stubborn refusal. It unsettled him even more. He tried a different approach. "Fine, let's say I don't call security. Let's say I let you explain. Who are you? Where did you come from?" The woman's eyes softened, though her smile remained. "My name is Serenia." She spoke the name as if it carried weight, as if it was meant to mean something important. Eli repeated it quietly. "Serenia." She nodded. "I come from a place far from here, a place your people do not yet know, and I am hunted." Eli blinked, Hunted by who? Her smile flickered for the first time, though only slightly. By those who fear what I carry. By those who wish to silence me before I can reach safety. Eli felt his stomach twist. He didn't like where this was going. He had joined the outpost to escape trouble, not to invite it. Listen, he said carefully. I don't want any part of whatever fight you're in. If you're in danger, you should talk to the commander, not me. But Serenia shook her head. I cannot trust your commanders. I cannot trust your officials. I can only trust you. Eli almost laughed, though it came out strained. Me? Why me? Her eyes locked onto his, and for the first time, her smile faded into a look of deep seriousness. Because you are human. Eli froze at her words. He didn't know what she meant, but there was a weight in her voice that made it sound more than simple truth. Before he could respond, a faint alarm began to sound in the distance. The outpost systems detected an unidentified signal nearby. Eli's communicator buzzed with a short alert. Possible unauthorized vessel in the sector. Eli's chest tightened. Whoever this Serenia was, her presence here wasn't an accident. And now, it looked like trouble had followed her. He glanced back at her, but she was still sitting on his bed, calm as ever, her eyes glowing faintly in the dim light. I told you, she said quietly. I will not leave. And Eli realized, with a sinking feeling, that his life had just changed forever. The alarm's red lights pulsed softly across the walls of Eli's quarters. He tried to focus on it, but his eyes kept flicking back to Serenia. She had remained calm through the alert, as if she had expected it. What is that? Eli asked, pointing toward the flashing panels. Trouble, she said simply. Her tone was calm, almost casual, yet there was a hidden edge to her words that made Eli's stomach tighten. He ran a hand through his hair. Great. Just great. I barely survived today fixing plasma lines, and now I have a mysterious alien on my bed who's hunted, and the entire outpost is about to go into lockdown. Serenia's eyes softened and she tilted her head. I do not bring danger, I bring choice. Eli paused. Choice? Yes, she said. You can choose to help me, or you can walk away and pretend none of this ever happened. Eli frowned. He had always believed that running was safer than facing danger, yet something about her presence made him hesitate. She didn't look threatening. She looked serious, determined, and something about that calm confidence made him trust her, even when every instinct screamed not to. Okay, he said slowly. Let's say I believe you. What exactly do you need me to do? Serenia's smile returned, softer this time. I need shelter, for now, just until I can reach safety. Eli glanced at the window. The outpost was far from any city or fleet, and ships rarely came here. The outpost itself was on the edge of a barren moon. You realize I'm not exactly, what do you call it, a security expert? I can barely handle a broken engine without causing sparks, let alone help someone escape assassins or bounty hunters. Serenia's gaze met his. That is precisely why I chose you. You are human. You are underestimated. And underestimated humans often survive when others fail. Eli blinked. That sounds like a compliment, but also like a warning. Perhaps both, she replied. The alarm stopped suddenly, replaced by a soft repeating chime from his communicator. Eli grabbed it. A short message flashed across the screen. Unidentified vessel detected. Approach vector, station sector 5. His heart rate quickened. They're here. Serenia did not flinch. Yes, they have found me. Eli swallowed hard. Found you? Meaning they know where you are? Yes, and they will not stop until they have me, she said. Her eyes darkened slightly. Unless I leave this place, they will come for you too. Eli's mind raced. He had been alone for months, and now this woman had entered his quarters, and he was suddenly involved in, what? Some kind of interstellar hunt? He felt the walls of his life closing in. Look, he said, his voice firm. I don't know who you are, where you're from, or what you're carrying. But if these people are coming after you, then they're coming after me too. And I don't like that. Serenia reached out, placing a delicate hand on his arm. Eli, I did not come to bring trouble to you. I came because you are the only one I can trust. Others, they will not help. Others will betray me. You, however, you are human, and humans are different. Brave, clever, resilient. Eli looked at her, uncertain. You make it sound like I'm a hero or something. I'm not. I'm just me. She smiled softly. That is exactly why I chose you. The words echoed in his mind as he tried to process what was happening. Her calm, confident manner was almost hypnotic. Despite the alarm, despite the threat outside, he felt a strange sense of calm. She was serious, yes, but she also seemed genuine. A sudden knock on the door made both of them jump. Eli froze, his hand going to the side of his communicator. Eli, Serenia whispered. Do not answer. It is them. Eli's mind raced. Whoever was out there had found the outpost, and they were not ordinary visitors. He could hear faint footsteps in the corridor, rapid and careful. His pulse raced. Stay behind me, he said finally, almost instinctively. Serenia shook her head. No, you do not need to hide me. You need to keep me safe. Eli hesitated. How do I do that? I'm an engineer, not a soldier. I don't even have proper training for... She placked finger gently against his lips. You are human. That is all. The stars stretched endlessly outside the shuttle's small viewport, glittering cold and distant. Eli gripped the edge of his seat, staring at the expanse of space. The adrenaline from their escape had faded slightly, replaced now by a creeping realization. They were not safe. Not anywhere. Serenia sat calmly across from him, her hands folded in her lap. She had an almost unshakable serenity, which only made Eli feel more out of place. He had spent his life fixing machines, not running, for his life through space. Eli, she said softly, breaking the silence. Do you understand why I am here? He swallowed hard. You're being hunted. That much is obvious, but why me? Why a human engineer? Her gaze met his, steady and piercing. Because humans are underestimated. Most believe you are weak, unprepared, small in a galaxy of strong empires. But you endure. You adapt. You survive. Eli looked away, rubbing his hands over his face. I'm not sure I deserve all this responsibility. You already carry it, she said quietly. Whether you accept it or not. A sudden alert beeped on the shuttle console. Eli jumped. What now? Serenia's eyes narrowed slightly. They have found our signal. They are close. The view outside confirmed it. A small fleet of sleek black ships appeared in the distance, moving fast and with precision. Eli's stomach dropped. These were no ordinary ships. They moved with coordination, and each one seemed armed to the teeth. Eli turned to Serenia. How many of them? Too many to fight directly, she replied. Calmly, we must escape. He nodded quickly, taking a deep breath and tapping the shuttle controls. He had flown shuttles before, but never under chase. The engines roared as the small craft accelerated, weaving between debris and outcroppings of asteroids that dotted the system. Keep them behind us, Serenia said, her voice calm, almost soothing. And do not panic, you can do this. Eli swallowed. Do you always talk like you're calm in life or death situations? Serenia smiled faintly. I always must be calm. Panic does not save lives. Action does. The ships behind them adjusted. Their trajectory, firing short pulses of energy that struck the shuttle's shields with a bright, cracking light. Eli's heart raced. The shields absorbed the hits, but he knew they could not take too many more. We need a plan, he said, glancing at Serenia. She leaned forward slightly. There is an old nebula ahead. Dense, chaotic. They cannot navigate it easily, but humans can. You must trust your instincts. Fly through it and we might escape. Eli hesitated. A nebula? I've never flown through one at this speed. It's dangerous. Dangerous is better than death, she said softly. We have no choice, he nodded, gripping the controls tightly. The shuttle dove toward the glowing gas clouds of the nebula. The engines shuddered as the light from the stars dimmed, swallowed by the colorful swirls of gas and plasma. Visibility dropped, and the sensors flickered unpredictably. Eli's hands moved with quick precision, dodging sudden energy bursts from pursuing ships. Serenia remained calm, her eyes scanning the radar. Left, no, right. Adjust slightly. Trust yourself. Eli followed her guidance, weaving the shuttle through the dense gas. Sparks flew across the panels as their shields absorbed impacts from stray debris. Each second felt stretched into eternity, every turn bringing a new wave of panic and adrenaline. Behind them, the alien ship struggled to navigate the nebula. Pulses of energy hit the gas clouds, causing bursts of fire and plasma that forced the pursuers to veer off course. Eli's heart leapt with every small victory. "How long until they give up?" he asked, his voice strained. "They may not give up," Serenia said calmly. "They are relentless. But humans find ways." Eli blinked, realizing what she meant. "They are counting on me." He tightened his grip on the controls, refusing to panic. Every instinct, every lesson from years of shuttle maintenance and basic piloting became sharper. He dodged, turned, and accelerated, the shuttle moving like a living thing beneath his hands. After what felt like hours, but was only minutes, the nebula thinned, revealing the stars once more. Eli's chest heaved as he glanced at Serenia. She was still smiling faintly, serene as if nothing had happened. "You did well," she said. "Many would have panicked. Many would have crashed." Eli swallowed, sweat dripping down his face. I think we made it." Serenia's smile softened. "This is only the beginning. They will not stop. You must be ready. Humanity, you, and your kind, have potential they do not yet understand." He frowned. "Potential for what? Why me? Why humans?" Serenia's expression darkened slightly. "Because you survive where others fail. Because you act when others hesitate. And because you can be trusted with something precious. Something they will kill to reclaim." Eli's heart skipped a beat. "Something precious?" She nodded. "Yes. A secret that could change the balance of power in the galaxy. I carry it, and they fear it. That is why I sought you. You are underestimated. They will not anticipate your ingenuity. That is humanity's greatest weapon." He looked at her, unsure what to say. I'm not a soldier. I don't fight. I don't have experience for this." "Experience does not define a human," Serenia said gently. "Courage does. Curiosity, intelligence, willingness to act when others freeze. That is why I chose you." Eli's mind raced. The galaxy had never mattered much to him. His life had been small, contained, simple. And now he was part of something enormous, dangerous, and utterly unknown. Suddenly, the shuttle shuddered violently. Eli's eyes widened. "What now?" "They have caught up," Serenia said. Her calm tone contrasted sharply with the warning lights, flashing across the console. "We must hide, temporarily. There is an asteroid field ahead. Small, jagged, difficult to navigate. If we can slip inside, we can shake them for a while." Eli took a deep breath, his hands steadying. "All right, let's do it." The shuttle dove toward the asteroid field. Jagged rocks loomed large as the engines flared. Eli maneuvered with precision, dodging debris that could have easily torn the ship apart. Energy pulses from the pursuing ships ricocheted off asteroids, their lights bouncing wildly across the rocks. Serenia leaned close, pointing toward a narrow gap between two massive asteroids. "Through there. Trust your instincts." Eli guided the shuttle through the narrow opening. Sparks flew as the edges scraped lightly against the hull. He felt every vibration, every shift, but somehow they emerged on the other side, alive, behind. Them, the alien ship struggled. Some collided with smaller asteroids, others veered off course. Eli allowed himself a moment of relief. I think we lost them." Serenya's gaze met his. Perhaps for now, but they will return. And next time they may not be so careless. Eli leaned back in his seat, breathing heavily. I can't believe I'm doing this. My life. It's gone completely insane in just a few hours. Serenya reached out and touched his arm gently. Insanity often precedes greatness, and greatness often begins when ordinary humans like you act where others would hesitate. Eli stared at her, still unsure what to say. But a small spark of understanding grew inside him. She trusted him. She believed in humans in a way no one else had. And somehow that belief was empowering. He nodded slowly. All right, I'll do it. Whatever it takes. Serenya's smile returned, brighter this time. Good. That is all I ask. Together we can survive what comes next. And perhaps change the galaxy itself. Eli looked out at the stars, feeling a mixture of fear, excitement, and determination. The chase had only just begun, but for the first time he understood that his life was no longer ordinary. He was part of something bigger now. Something dangerous. Something extraordinary. And he would not fail. The shuttle floated silently among the scattered asteroids, its hull glinting in the faint light of distant stars. Inside, Eli's hands were still trembling slightly, though his mind had begun to calm after the chaos of the chase. For the first time in his life, he felt that his decisions had consequences far beyond his own survival. Every choice mattered. Every action could mean life or death, not just for him, but for Serenya. Serenya sat across from him, her posture relaxed, yet alert. She studied the instruments on the console as if reading a story written by the stars themselves. Every so often she would glance at Eli, her eyes calm, unwavering. You handled that well, she said quietly. Eli exhaled sharply. I think I almost crashed a dozen times. You call that well? She smiled faintly. You survived. That is what counts. Many would have panicked. Many would have failed. Humans. You endure. Eli leaned back in his seat, staring at the ceiling. I don't feel like I deserve praise. I barely know how to survive a shuttle, and now I'm running from assassins because of you. Serenya's gaze softened. It is not about deserving praise, it is about understanding your own strength. Humans often underestimate themselves. That is why I chose you. Not because you are perfect, but because you will rise to the challenge. Eli rubbed the back of his neck. Rise to the challenge, right. I'm just an engineer. I fix broken machines. I don't fight wars or save princesses from interstellar fleets. Serenya's smile did not falter. That is exactly why you are the right human. Strength does not always mean fighting. Wisdom does not always mean knowing everything. Courage. Courage is what you show when you act in the face of fear. He glanced at her, feeling a strange mix of admiration and disbelief. He had faced danger before, yes, but nothing like this. Yet her calm confidence was infectious. He felt a spark of determination that had nothing to do with survival. It had to do with... Eli's fingers moved over the shuttle controls with a steady precision he didn't know he possessed. Every lesson from years of maintenance and piloting now felt like instinct. But despite his growing confidence, a cold tension lingered in his chest. Somewhere out there the hunters were closing in. They would not stop, and soon there might be no place to hide. Serenya sat beside him, calm as ever. Her glowing eyes scanned the radar, her fingers lightly tracing patterns on the console. They will not relent, she said softly. But humans are unpredictable. That is why I brought you along. Eli swallowed hard. Unpredictable? I'm just trying to keep us alive. She smiled faintly. Exactly. That is unpredictability. You act where others hesitate. You survive where others fail. That is humanity's strength. His gaze returned to the stars, and for a brief moment the fear in his heart was replaced by a strange determination. He had survived so far, and he would survive still, because he had no choice. Not while Serenya's life, perhaps the fate, of more than just them, depended on him. The shuttle emerged from the debris field into open space. There, the alien fleet waited. Sleek black ships glimmering in the starlight, engines glowing, weapons ready. Eli's pulse quickened. They had found them. They're ready to attack, he muttered, gripping the controls. Serenia leaned closer. Prepare, Eli. This will test everything you have learned. Eli nodded, taking a deep breath. All right, let's do it. The alien ships moved in formation, coordinating like a single living organism. Eli dodged their initial energy bursts, weaving between asteroids and debris with skill and precision. The shuttle shuddered under the pressure, alarms flashing across the console. Suddenly, one of the larger enemy ships unleashed a wave of energy, striking the shuttle's shields. Sparks flew. Eli cursed under his breath. Shields are holding, but not for long. Serenia's eyes glimmered as she reached for a small device hidden in her sleeve. Eli, listen carefully. I carry something they desire, something dangerous. It is not just knowledge, it is power. And they will stop at nothing to take it. Eli's heart pounded. Power? What kind of power? She glanced at him, her expression serious. It is a weapon, yes, but not a weapon of destruction alone. It can protect, it can defend, it can shift the balance of entire systems. And it is why they hunt me. Eli's mind raced. He had expected danger, yes, but not this. Not a weapon hidden in her hands. Something ancient and formidable sought by killers who would not hesitate to destroy planets if necessary. Then what do we do? He asked, gripping the controls tighter. Serenia smiled faintly. We survive, together. You are human. You will act where others freeze. You will do what is necessary, and I will guide you. Eli nodded, determination hardening in his chest. He had no choice but to trust her, and trust himself. The alien ships closed the distance. Energy blasts streaked past the shuttle, shaking the small vessel violently. Eli twisted the controls, narrowly avoiding a collision with a massive asteroid. His hands moved with precision, reacting faster than he thought possible. Serenia's voice cut through the chaos. Eli, now open the hidden compartment beneath the control panel. I will guide you. With trembling hands, Eli pressed the correct sequence of buttons. A panel slid open, revealing a small glowing device, ancient and intricate, humming with energy. He stared at it in awe. Serenia reached out, touching it lightly. This is what they seek, and this is why you are here. You must protect it. You must survive long enough to see it safely deployed. Eli swallowed. Deploy it? How? You will see, she said softly. First, we must escape the immediate threat. The shuttle veered sharply, dodging another wave of energy. Eli's heart raced, but he no longer panicked. He had learned to act, to anticipate, to survive. And now survival meant more than just his life. It meant carrying this secret, this power, safely out of the hands of those who would misuse it. The alien ships were relentless. They adjusted their tactics, coordinating their attacks, forcing Eli to think faster, react faster. He felt the strain, the adrenaline, the weight of responsibility pressing down on him. But then, Serenia whispered, focus, not on fear, but on action. You can do this. We can do this. Eli's hands moved instinctively. He guided the shuttle through a narrow asteroid canyon, weaving between jagged rocks, energy pulses barely missing them. The fleet struggled to follow, some ships colliding with debris, others forced to retreat momentarily. He exhaled sharply. I think we've slowed them down. Serenia's eyes glimmered with approval. Yes, but this is only temporary. The final step must be taken. Are you ready? Eli nodded. I don't know what it is, but yes, I'm ready. She took the glowing device from him, holding it carefully. This is a key onto something far larger than us. It can awaken a guardian, an ancient defense system left by civilizations long gone. With it, we can force them to retreat. Eli stared at her in disbelief. You mean, we can stop them? Like really? Serenia smiled faintly. Yes, but it must be done carefully. One wrong move, and the entire system could collapse. The alien fleet began to converge again, closing in with terrifying speed. Eli gritted his teeth, hands steady. Then let's do it. Serenia activated the device. A bright, pulsating light spread across the shuttle, resonating with energy that Eli had never felt before. The stars seemed to blur, the air inside the cabin humming with power. The alien ships faltered, confused by the sudden surge of energy. Now, Eli, Serenia shouted. Fly toward the center of the field. Trust yourself. Trust humanity. He pushed the shuttle forward, navigating carefully through the chaotic energy pulses. The alien fleet struggled to adjust. Some ships veered off course. Others fired blindly, their formations breaking apart. Then a massive shockwave radiated from the device. Energy arcs lit the darkness of space, striking the alien ships with precision. One by one, their engines faltered, their weapons went offline, and they were forced to retreat. Eli exhaled, barely believing what had happened. We did it? Serenia smiled, her calm confidence never wavering. For now. The danger is not gone, but we have shown them that humans are not so easily defeated. Eli felt a strange sense of pride mixed with exhaustion. He had survived. He had protected the secret. And for the first time, he realized the truth in her words. Humans were underestimated for a reason. Their courage, their ingenuity, their resilience. It was extraordinary. As the alien fleet disappeared into the distance, Eli turned to Serenia. So, what now? She held the device carefully, her eyes bright. Now, we plan, we prepare, and we continue to survive. Because the galaxy is watching, Eli, and it is time for humanity to show what it is truly capable of. Eli nodded, feeling a surge of determination. He had thought his life was ordinary, simple, but now he understood. He was part of something larger, something dangerous, something extraordinary. And with Serenia at his side, he was ready for whatever came next. The stars stretched endlessly outside the shuttle's viewport, calm and beautiful in contrast to the chaos that had just passed. Eli leaned back in his seat, exhausted but alert, his hands still trembling slightly from the adrenaline. The alien fleet had retreated, at least for now, leaving them with a fleeting moment of peace. Serenia sat across from him, the glowing device resting safely on her lap. Her expression was calm, serene, as if the battle outside had never existed. But Eli knew better. He had seen the fire in her eyes, the determination that drove her to survive, and the trust she had placed in him. You did well, Eli, she said softly. Eli shook his head, a tired smile forming. I don't feel like I did well. I barely knew what I was doing half the time. If you weren't there, I don't know what would have happened. Serenia reached out, placing a hand gently on his. It was not only my guidance. You acted. You survived. That is why humans endure. That is why I chose you. He stared at her, feeling a warmth in his chest he could not explain. For so long, he had believed his life was small, ordinary. But now it had purpose. And that purpose was tied to someone extraordinary. The shuttle moved silently through space as Eli checked the console one last time. Systems were stable, the shields and engines functioning perfectly. The danger had passed, but the weight of what had just occurred settled heavily on his shoulders. Serenia, he began cautiously. What now? The fleet. They'll come back eventually. They always do. And that device you carry, it's dangerous. More people will want it. She nodded, her gaze calm yet serious. Yes, that is true, but we have time, at least for now. Time to plan. Time to prepare. And we are not alone. Humans, your kind, has more potential than they understand. I will teach you, guide you, and together we will protect what must be protected. Eli swallowed, feeling a mixture of fear and excitement. So, we keep moving? Always running? Serenia shook her head. Not always running. Sometimes we rest. Sometimes we prepare. But we never underestimate the galaxy. And you must learn to trust yourself fully. That is the true strength of humanity. He nodded slowly, feeling the weight of her words. Trust himself. Trust humanity. Trust her. It was a heavy burden, but also liberating. For the first time in his life, he felt like he mattered, that his actions could shape something larger than himself. The shuttle emerged from the shadows of a nearby planet. Eli guided it toward a small, hidden settlement on the surface, a place he had once considered boring and insignificant.